I come from the energy of Saint-Germain, Saint-Germain. I come from that energy. I have spent many lifetimes on earth just like you. All sorts of stories have been written about me, some true, some not so true. I have worked with all of you at one time or the other in the mystery schools or in Atlantis or in between in the other realms. My lifetime as Saint-Germain. I was born in an area which you would now know as Spain, to a Portuguese father who was also Jewish, and a mother who had royal Spanish lineage. I brought with me into that lifetime information. I brought with me so much energy that I had built up over a long period of time. I brought it with me. I could take simple stones, put them in my pocket, and pull out gold. I counseled Louis XV. We spent many hours behind closed doors. I helped him to try to understand the nature of energy. Of course, he was more interested in how to turn rocks into gold, and I would never show him. I dealt extensively with the likes of Madame Pompadour, Maria Josepha in Germany, Margot of the French regions, and many, many other of the feminine or the female royalty. Many of them had actually secretly attended the mystery schools. I worked with many different small groups. I called them my radiance groups. Many of you participated in those. The Rosicrucians, the Freemasons. I worked with the Knights Templar, the Friends of the Templar, and the Illuminati. Many others. These groups were formed, these secret societies were formed because the power of the church was so strong at the time. The arm of the church was strong, and it was brutal, and it was violent. And we had to have these secret groups to maintain a type of balance of energies at the time. I have an aversion to religions, and I expressed this vehemently in my lifetime as Saint-Germain. It got me into a bit of trouble. The church, which I loved dearly in its early days, please don't mistake that. I loved it dearly, as did you. I was part of the group, a large group, that helped to create it, that helped to bring in the energy of Yeshua onto this planet. And then, 500-600 years after the founding of the church, it started getting the corruption of humanity, of the sexual energy virus, and particularly of the masculine imbalance. I was instrumental in helping to create this great country. What it was a new potential, a potential for freedom and sovereignty. And again, I was there, embodied, working with the founding fathers. Also, large influence that I and the Freemasons had in developing this. I was realized, but didn't choose to be fully realized of my realization. So it was more of a decision to say, I don't need to spend any more lifetimes on the planet. And I finally said that that's it. And when I took these last 2 years to myself in the north of Germany, it was kind of like finally accepting my realization. So my realization wasn't lightning bolts. Mine was more, I'm ready. I'm done. In my lifetime as Saint-Germain, I walked out of my body. I walked out of it. There was no long, prolonged death. I didn't do any suffering. There was no pain. I walked out of my body. This is a true story. It disappeared the moment I walked out of it. And this is where we are going, shaumbra. I can walk back in at any time, manifest myself, my energies, into human reality. My energy goes back as far as you go back. We shared times together in the Atlantean era. Many of you here were in the temples of Tian.
You were the royalty. I was simply the slave from the working class who was brought into the temples to serve you, to bring you your meals, to clean up your wastes.
I'd walked into a gathering in the temples of Tien in Atlantis, where so many of you were, doing a type of energy ceremony. You were literally shifting reality kind of a half a dimension off. And back then, of course, I was a little slave boy. I walked in and was zapped by all the energies and then put into this crystalline prison for what seemed like 100,000 years. It might have been 10 minutes, but it seemed like 100,000 years.
The crystalline structure that your energies created prevented any outside energy from hearing. It cut everything off. Not an angel in heaven knew where I was. Talk about loneliness and talk about a hell that you put me in. I'm not here for revenge. I'm here for sharing.
And here in this crystal, I tried getting out. I tried everything, fighting my way out, praying my way out, cursing my way out. None of it worked at all. It actually got me deeper and deeper into this crystalline prison.
So here I was, not able to die, not able to live, but stuck. And you didn't know how to free me. Even when Atlantis fell, I was still stuck in the crystal. I was still part of your karma. I was still part of your lineage now. We have been connected.
I was approaching it from being a victim. Like I didn't put myself in it. I felt sorry for myself. I felt angry at so many of you. And it wasn't until finally that I realized I'd gotten myself in. And the very dynamics that got me there were also going to be the dynamics that got me out.
What I did learn was how to be with me. What I did learn was how to release myself from an illusion, and that's all your crystal was. It was an illusion. In a sense, you are locked in your crystal, aren't you? In a sense, you walked in to a swirl of energy at the wrong time in the wrong place, but perhaps the perfect place, and you got locked in. And here you sit on the inside, and I'm on the outside now. I say that with the greatest love and compassion, but you are locked in.
If you feel that you're a victim of anything, of life itself, a victim of your upbringing, your family, a victim of your past lives, if there's any of that association with being a victim, it's going to be very difficult to get out. There is a seduction in victim energy. There's a gravity within victim energy that will hold you in because you're still playing the game. You still want to play the game. You still want to hold on to that victim energy for whatever reason. Sometimes it's just fun to play with. But if you're holding on to any of that victim energy, you simply really won't be able to get out. It would be like digging the hole deeper and deeper. Nobody has ever kept you here. No demons, no boogeymen, and not even any aspects. They've created an illusion, a great illusion, but it was all based on the script that you wrote. So please do let go of any sort of victim energies if you're interested in going way out.
Let me go through some of my history to help you to remember. I was known in the biblical times as the one you would call Samuel. And from that lifetime, I spent a whole series of lifetimes on the dark road, in the depths. I wanted to explore what it would be like to be totally consumed by the energy of this earth, totally consumed by the energy of what you would call an ego. But I did this to help me understand the true origins of human nature. I helped to create the energies of the one that you call St. Francis of Assisi, an unsouled being who I helped to create with Katumi and some others. I have been incarnated on earth as the energy of Francis Bacon, commonly known also as Shakespeare.
I got another aspect. It's the original to be or not to be aspect, actually, believe it or not. Oh, it wasn't Shakespeare who penned those first words. It was my aspect known as Plato. Plato is considered to be really the designer, the implementer of modern Western society, even though he goes back a long, long way.
With my deep love for writing, I have also incarnated as the energy of Samuel Clemens. Mark Twain was an incredible lifetime. I traveled the world. I wrote my stories. I shared many times with so many of shaumbra. I actually had the one that you know as Cauldre in my employment for a short period of time in the place that you would call Virginia City when I had a newspaper there.
Tesla and Twain were great friends, dear friends, and it deeply, deeply saddened Tesla when Mark Twain died because it was one of Tesla's last true friends. They spent a lot of time in the laboratory, but again, that connecting energy between them, they were both visionaries. They were both wide open. They were both a little bit ahead of their time, Tesla a lot more so than Mark Twain, but they both had the ability to see and feel and open up into grander spaces. They got out of their chicken little, chicken crap way of being a little human. They broke out of boxes and really lived. They followed their passion.